Hi gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing 5 fragrances in my perfume collection that I feel are romantic fragrances. These are fragrances that give off a romantic aura, and we'll get more into that in a little bit, so if you're interested, please keep watching. Hey friend, welcome back. I am so excited to get into these romantic fragrances with you today. To those of you who are new here, thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail. On this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle in my monthly vlogs. So if any of those things sound good to you, then I would love to have you here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. My name is Ker-leen and I am a romantic at heart. Yes, that is me. I'm sure that many of you who clicked on this video are probably romantics at heart as well. I am an idealist. I love a happy ending, and overall, I like to look at the positive side of things. So these fragrances that I'm about to share, I feel really embody this romantic outlook on life. And the word romantic is used to characterize expressions of love, but also used to characterize an idealized perspective on life. And whenever I spray these fragrances on, they help to create this idealized and romanticized perspective for the day. So the first fragrance I have here is, this is the newest Miss Dior Puffen. This fragrance is a very fruity, sweet fragrance with witty undertones, a little bit of patchouli, and it could probably be the branding behind Miss Dior that evokes romance for me. But whenever I put this on, I feel like I'm transported to the most beautiful, relaxing, ethereal vacation. And although I don't have scent memories with this fragrance, whenever I smell it, it makes me think of my trip to Paris. Yes, it transports me to Paris. And I think it's because this fragrance is just so classy and genteel and polished, yet very delicate. Oh, I love this scent. It opens up with mandarin and peach and apricot, and then at the mid you get strawberries in this fragrance. The strawberries in here are not the most realistic strawberries, but a very beautiful strawberry note. It mixes and mingles with a beautiful white floral at the mid of this. So you get florals, you get strawberry, you get juicy fruits in the opening and mid of this fragrance. And then at the base, you get those woody vibes. You get a slight earthiness with the moss and the patchouli. There is an amberwood and a cedar. So this has a very crisp yet bold, witty base. And the patchouli, you can definitely detect it, but it's more of a supportive grounding note that kind of holds the base together and helps with the performance of this fragrance. When I overspray this, it projects at more than an arm's length. It has a beautiful sillage and it's quite beautiful. This is a very, very likable scent. And whenever I spray this on, it just evokes the memories and thoughts of being somewhere with ornate architecture. That's what I think of when I spray on Miss Dior Puffen. The next fragrance I have here is Parfum de Marly's Cassili. Cassili is my first fragrance from Parfum de Marly. My second one will probably be Delina de la Rose. Those are the 2 fragrances from the house that have really spoken to me. And I've gotten reacquainted with Delina Exclusive, specifically the dupe, which if you haven't seen that video, you will probably see it soon. But anywho, Cassili was my first from the brand. Cassili is a fruity floral. It's sweet, it's vanillic, it's tropical. It's like a soft, spicy, very powdery, fresh type of fragrance. This is so beautiful, y'all. I love how fruity and juicy this fragrance is in the opening, and then it transforms into something creamy and powdery and ultra feminine and fresh by the time it begins to dry down. This fragrance opens up with a red currant, which gives it that juicy and fruity introduction. It also has a Bulgarian rose at the top, but the rose here is not like the rose in the Delinas. The rose here is more subdued. You get a beautiful frangipani, which is a velvety, tropical, creamy type of floral. So that's the vibe here, very creamy and velvety floral with a slight tropical nuance. This isn't like your full-blown, very literal tropical fragrance. This just has a slight tropical touch to it because of that frangipani. It's like a really creamy and velvety type of floral. This also has plum at the mid, a Petalia, and a Mimosa. So as I mentioned, this has a very powdery and sweet nuance, and Mimosa is a note that has like a sweet, powdery, slightly green, slightly woody undertone. And so I feel like the Mimosa kind of transitions you into the base where you get a sandalwood, but then you also get tonka bean and vanilla at the base. So this is a very sweet, creamy, fresh, powdery, slightly tropical type of scent. The freshness in here I feel comes from all of those powdery elements. So you know how when you were a child your parent would put powder on you? That's the type of freshness that's in here. This fragrance is a personal favorite of mine year round, but especially in the spring and summer because it does have that fresh nuance. It's sweet, it's creamy, it's powdery, it's feminine, and this is the type of fragrance I would put on with a sundress, something with a floral print. The color of the bottle matches the vibe of this fragrance. This is a fragrance I would wear on a brunch date with my husband, and then maybe after brunch we go for a walk. Yeah, that's what this fragrance evokes. This is a very, very ultra feminine fragrance and also the perfect year-round scent. This could even be a signature scent. This is a fragrance that is easy to love, easy for anyone to enjoy. So this is Cassili by Parfum Marley. This next fragrance has a very similar romantic aura to Cassili, and this is Burberry Her Elixir. Burberry Her Elixir has this very sweet, creamy, yet powdery vibe, just like in Cassili. This is a fruity, sweet, vanillic, powdery, slightly woody floral fragrance. So this has a very simplistic note list. So at the top you have strawberry and blackberry, then at the mid you have jasmine, and then at the base you have amber, vanilla, and sandalwood. This fragrance is very, very simple as far as the notes. And what this fragrance does is something similar to Cassili, except this one is strawberry forward. This is not a realistic smelling strawberry, but definitely puts you in the mind of a strawberry milkshake type of scent. It's a strawberry dessert with whipped cream. It's so creamy, but it's not overly sweet. It's not like a toothache-inducing sweetness. It's not a nauseating sweetness. It's a sweetness that's contained, but very sweet nonetheless, and also very powdery to my nose. This is a super powdery fragrance, thereby making it very feminine, and it gives off this freshness, this fresh vibe. This always makes me feel like I have soft satin caressing my skin whenever I put it on. And I don't know what it is about this fragrance, but that's what it evokes in my mind. And I absolutely love this scent. My husband also loves this scent too. So this is a scent that is very likable. I think most people will enjoy this scent. It's very non-offensive, very girly. Where Cassili was more of a grown-up softness, this one is more of a playful, youthful softness. That's what I feel is the difference between the two. And of course, the key notes, obviously. Simply put, makes me feel very girly. Oh, this is so good. This evokes very soft, very tender, very youthful, very feminine vibes. And I love this fragrance. The next fragrance I have here that emits a romantic aura is Tiziana Terenzis Cassiopeia. I've had this fragrance for quite a while. There's about half of it left in the bottle. And this is one that when I was reaching for it, I was reaching for it all the time. I will be picking this back up though for the spring and summer. And I will most likely probably finish this bottle because it is so, so good. This is another fragrance that's very soft and feminine, but it doesn't have a powdery component. Instead, this one has like a fruity freshness. So this is a very, very good fragrance. This is a niche fragrance that you can pick up from Joma Shop, so I will link it down below. It's a very affordable niche fragrance because you can always find it on the gray market. This is sweet, it's fruity, yet it's fresh. It's slightly tropical. It has a musky essence to it as well. So it's just really, really nice. When I first spray out Cassiopeia, It's so good, y'all. You get a burst of juicy freshness from the passion fruit, and it's almost like you have squeezed a little bit of a lemon in passion fruit juice. So there is a zing to it. So it's very bright, it's very fresh, extremely sweet and juicy and just fruity goodness, and then you get a little bit of a balancing act. There are some green notes at the top of this fragrance, but to my nose, I don't really pick them up. Instead, I just get a very sweet, fruity, juicy, very effervescent opening. Oh, this is so good. This does have a lily of the valley along with some florals at the mid, and the lily of the valley is a very water-like note, and I do feel like this has a water-like component at the mid of this fragrance. And that is what I feel like keeps this fragrance very fresh. So although this fragrance is very juicy and fruity and sweet, it maintains a sense of freshness, which makes it perfect for this time of year. And it's also one that makes you feel extremely clean and very feminine, very romantic. This is the type of fragrance that I envision myself wearing on a vacation to southern France. When I think about southern France, I think about the water, the dark blue hue of the water, the sun shining down. I think about like the natural elements of the architecture, and that's what this fragrance evokes. Like I'm on a vacation somewhere in southern France. This fragrance also has tonka bean, musk, and sandalwood at the base, which gives it a very creamy, extremely creamy base. This isn't a musky fragrance, but there is a musk there at the base. This fragrance manages to be extremely delicious smelling, but also fresh and slightly powdery. And I love it. Yes, so this is a fragrance that definitely helps to romanticize my day whenever I have it on. The caps on these are so heavy, and I'm not quite sure what the motifs on the cap signify. So if you know, drop it down in the comments. You have to be careful. If you drop the cap and it falls on your toe, you're probably going to be really hurt. So please be careful with this cap. This is Cassiopeia by Tiziana Terenzi. And the last fragrance here is one that is so romantic in my opinion. This is your evening of romance. This is evening romance in a bottle. And this is Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir. This is one of those fragrances that I consider a masterpiece. It is that beautiful. Starting from the bottle, all the way down to the juice inside. This is luxury in a bottle. This fragrance is mostly an amber fragrance, but it does have a very resinous, rich base like labdanum. This has vanilla, it has lavender, but the prominent note in this fragrance is amber. This is a beautiful amber scent. And the scent smells absolutely golden. That's what it smells like to me. It smells like a golden elixir. At first, I thought this was a very masculine scent, but to my nose now, this is a perfect unisex fragrance. This is one that I can imagine on my husband if we were going out. As a matter of fact, this kind of evokes our travels to Europe when we were out at night. We were at a beautiful restaurant, and this kind of makes me think of that sort of setting. And this is one that I can also wear. As girly as I am, this is one that I can also wear, and it gives off a sense of boldness and sensuality and confidence. And this is the perfect evening scent that evokes so much romance. And I think that's part of the story behind this fragrance and the name Grand Soir. Grand Soir can be translated to mean big night, or a very important night, a very special night, a very monumental night. That's what I think of when I think of this fragrance. It instantly transports me to a very luxurious and special type of occasion. And if I'm being honest, this is one that I'm probably going to be wearing this spring as well, because I am absolutely enamored with this scent. It is so good, such a romantic scent, in an evening, very big occasion type of way. All right, friend, thank you so much for still being here. Hopefully you have fun chatting fragrances, sort of playing around with imagination. And that's what I've fallen in love with when it comes to perfumery. Perfumery requires us to use our senses. It even allows us to use our imagination, which is so much fun. These are some of the fragrances in my collection that I feel are super romantic, whether it's as an expression of love or as an idealized perspective. There are so many other romantic fragrances in my collection collection. So if you all want to see something like this again in the future, let me know in the comments. Before we part ways today, I want to remind you not to discredit your imagination. We can get wrapped up on a day-to-day basis with doing things that generate income that we then use to take care of ourselves, our families, our responsibilities. And in doing all of that, sometimes we can forget to just take a moment and imagine. I feel like God has equipped and wired us with certain skills and talents and certain inclinations. And sometimes the only way to figure those things out is to regularly allow yourself to imagine about what you could be doing with your gifts and talents if income were not an issue. I know for me, I have moments where I have to take a break from all of social media, from my favorite shows. I communicate to my husband that I need time to think and reflect and spend time with God. And in those moments, I really ask God to really give me wisdom and discernment and download into my heart and my spirit what it is I should be doing. So I'm a firm believer that it's important to take time to just quiet your mind and allow yourself to imagine. And I feel like those are the first steps to really figure out what our gifts and talents are and how we can use them to serve others and the world at large. So don't discredit your imagination. As a child, I had certain dreams, and I would often allow myself to daydream and imagine. Now as an adult, I find that some of the things that I imagined as a child have come to fruition. So I just want to encourage you with that today. As always, I will be over here reflecting on the same. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.